All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Amanda por el Mundo. This is my friend, Juliana, Juli, and her dog, Callie.
Thanks, Callie.
This is my first video of a, hopefully, series of interviews that I plan to do on my YouTube channel with fellow travelers and friends, people that want to discuss travel-related or cultural-related discussions. So this is one of many. I hope you guys enjoy it. So, do you want to tell everyone what we were planning, what your plans are?
Yes. So, I am currently, or we are currently, planning a trip to Europe. I've never been, but Amanda has.
Yes.
And so we are planning to go to spend 10 days in Barcelona, and then 10 days in the Greek islands, right? So we're going to do, what did we say? Athens, right?
Yeah.
And then I forgot the other one was.
Athens, Mykonos, and Santorini.
Yes. Santorini.
And in Spain, we're going to focus just on Barcelona. So, I decided that we could try to make a video for you guys kind of to discuss what our thought process was. So, originally, when I arrived earlier, Juliana was still thinking about, like, various locations. And so what we discussed was the fact that in my experience in the 4.5 months of traveling, I think that ultimately it's easy as a planner and being at home, like daydreaming about your trip. It's easier to pick a lot of things to see and do and a lot of places to go to in a very short amount of time, but how that can be very wearing and exhausting. So ultimately we narrowed in through discussion into like spending 10 days in Barcelona, which is a very big, vibrant, busy city in Spain, and to 10 days of just Santorini, Mykonos, and Athens in Greece.
Yes.
So, yeah.
So excited.
Yeah.
Yep.
And like you said, it's going to be your first time in Europe.
It is going to be my first time in Europe, so I know nothing about the logistics of traveling and stuff, so that's why I have my friend Amanda.
Yeah, and as she said we are planning to travel, so you've never done a solo trip.
I've never
right?
done a solo trip, no.
So the hope is that I will be able to go with her, but we'll see, nothing set in stone. It's kind of part of the planning, right? You have to take the chance and go with what comes, but so far with the planning that we talked about, what's something that you felt like you became aware of through our discussion that helped you?
Let's see. Definitely, like, booking the flights, like, in advance, because they get more expensive. And then, also knowing, like, that you need to book, like, if you want to do the Greek islands, you have to look at the mini flights in between. So budgeting for that. And then, like you said, spending, because my original plan was to do, like, so many things. I was like, I want to go here, 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 and here. But I think, like you said, spending, like, having, like, a focus and spending a certain amount of time to really, like, get to see, like, in depth, kind of.
Yeah.
I think that was helpful. Because I was like, I want to go to Ireland, I want to go to Spain, I want to go to Italy, I want to go to Greece in... What did I say? A month.
1 month, but now you shortened it to 3 weeks.
To 3 weeks,
So, just as background, we are both teachers. I currently am not in the classroom, but Juliana is. So, with that in mind, it went from like a 1 month potential travel plan to 3 weeks, just to have a little bit more downtime to recover, because heaven knows teachers need the recovery time.
Yes.
So, what was I going to mention about what you said? I do this all the time. I, like, forget what I was talking about. The fact that you mentioned that, we're going to be going to those areas. I wanted to just clarify for everybody what month we're trying to go. And in terms of the purchasing, also what we discussed, like, about when is a good time to purchase. So right now we are days away from 2020, and the trip would be?
July 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that month. Like, almost the whole month of July. So July 1st to, like, the 21st.
So, ideally, if we could, we would book, like, January for a summer trip to Europe in particular. But because I do not currently have funds for such a trip, I think our max out date, basically for you to wait for me to like officially decide and to buy our tickets together, would be February. Because in March, beginning in the spring, the prices are just going to increase. Mm-hmm. So do you want to share kind of like our ballpark range of prices?
Yeah, for
that
like
we found?
Flights.
Yeah, so we use Skyscanner.
Skyscanner, yeah. So for flights, we found, what was I think from SFO to Barcelona, it was about like $350 one way.
Yeah.
And then from, I forgot how to say it, Mykonos?
Yeah.
Yeah, from Mykonos to Santorini.
To Santorini, yeah.
Santorini.
Santorini. No worries.
Never traveled before. Sangria. Santorini. From Mykonos to Santorini.
Santorini. Callie, she's upset for you.
To Santorini. I really think want some sangria. To Santorini was, what was it? It was like no, that was a cheaper flight, right?
That was I think that one was $150. That was one of the short ones.
The shorter one, yeah.
Yeah, and then
from Santorini.
Yeah. Santorini.
From Santorini to the Athens, that one was cheaper.
That one was
super
like
$35.
So basically, because of one of the many principles of travel, if you're traveling from a smaller airport to a major city, usually there's going to be a ton of flights, which is the case with Athens. So I think that flight was like, what, $35?
Yeah, that was like $35.
And like they show you the schedule for the day that we selected, and there was just flight after flight. And that flight would be like 35 minutes too. Mm-hmm. So yeah, and then our flight home would be from Athens.
And that one was more pricey, but that one was, what was it, like in the 500, 600?
500, 600,
yeah.
Yeah. And this is all US dollars for you guys. You're wondering if it isn't already obvious. I feel like it's something I should say. But yeah, that's just kind of the beginnings of planning. So we looked into a little bit, into Get Your Guide, that website, which is really good if you're trying to find specific things you want to do in cities. So we used it for Barcelona. We also looked into blogs, other people's blogs, not mine. It's not at that level yet. But for just itineraries and ideas of how to use our time. So we ended up deciding on 3 days in Mykonos, 4 days in Santorini, just to relax at the beach more and do more of the daytime stuff, and then 3 days in Athens.
Yeah.
Because there are ruins, but I have heard that it is not necessarily as nice or as safe as the other cities in Greece. So
yeah.
So now you have the basis
for your
trip.
So it's good. It's a good planning session.
Yay! Woohoo! And so for 3 weeks in Europe, with about $900 reserved for flights between all the islands and to come back to California in the high season, in the summer, we ballparked the whole trip with the flights and cost of activities, hotels, all that stuff to be
$2,000, which I thought it would be like $3,000, but
yes,
$2,000 is the goal.
So now, with this little bit of planning, we both have a financial goal to look towards to kind of plan into the next couple months. And as long as you get your flights done early enough, you should be able to kind of stay around that price point. So, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for helping me plan my trip, our trip.
Yes.
Just gonna go, hopefully.
Hopefully, yes. Oh, and how long do you think all the like prep stuff we did took us earlier? Oh my god.
Just like it took you too long. I'm just kidding. It didn't take that long. It took like maybe an hour. An hour-ish.
Hour and a half. I think it's like 4:30 now or something.
Yeah.
So
an
hour and a half. So Callie, maybe she should be in the video.
You want to see?
Come here.
She's looking for something.
But that just gives you guys perspective. It takes like a little bit of planning time to then get your building blocks, set just to prep for the future. Let's see if we can get Callie in the video, and then we can sign off. Come here, you. Callie, go get her. Good girl. Here she is. Okay, look. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Oh!